last time on Pathfinder, Path of the Wicked, we went sailing and we tried to catch some seals. And I went with the very annoying sailor. I don't remember his name, but he got a
Argeld, I think.
yeah, and he has a very nasty axe. And some of his sailor, while the others went with themselves on another boat, and they caught four sails and ended up falling into the water because of Jonas. Anyway, my boat only caught three sails, and they had to fight some demonic seals that looked very, very gross. And I tried to make the annoying salesman to help, but he didn't, and no matter what I said, he just went, yes, bunyips. Is that what that's you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he just sailed away like that annoying person he is. And the rest of the team had to fight the bunyips and succeeded. They came back and they all acted like nothing had happened, and they were like, let's have a feast and all that annoying thing. And then we were attacked again by an uh, ice elemental goblin who was really annoying and laughing up in the mast. Is that how it's called?
Yeah.
Cool. And we were attacked by other elementals. Wasn't it elementals we were attacked by?
Ice
Ice
elementals.
elementals.
Ice elementals. And no one was able to see who the hell was up in the mast, but in the end, was it Sheep who climbed up there?
Yes, I did.
Climb up.
Sheep climbed up, killed him, and well,
Not
we all
quite.
helped.
He
No,
ran
but
away.
we tried to kill him, and he was a little kind of a wuss, so he ran away. Then we finally came to the Bugbear camp, and we all just went there, and Cash just ran right into the camp, and they were like, "Don't take our food," and then they got really angry for some weird reason, and they
They wanted
attacked
to eat
us.
us.
Yes, they wanted to eat us. So we just attacked them, killed a whole lot of them, and made a kind of a wall of ourselves, and she was behind, trying to cast color. No, you wanted to attack, but you had to keep casting color spray. Uh, so we stunned them, killed them, stunned them, killed them, went one step back all the time, and finally, when we've killed the whole bunch of them, the leader came and, hey, wait, that's the people with the weapons. And they're like, oh, my mistake. Never mind, nothing lost. And we had a feast, and we had some food, and they got the weapons, and we went to their camp.
Yeah, you forgot the encounter with the Arctic tribesmen guys.
Oh yeah, I
right,
forgot
The
them.
trade mission.
We met some
Yeah.
trademen who wanted to trade some stuff with us, and we got a narwhal horn and some teeth, and we gave them mithril. And they were really happy, and we became friends forever and ever.
Yes, BFF.
BFF.
Exchange small heart necklaces.
Yeah. BFS.
Yep.
And he wanted to give us his clothes, but well, Cash really wanted his clothes, but it was not better than hers, so. But fur is the color. That's it.
Right. And that's where we pick back up. You have spent the night in the Bugbear camp after the large, huge feast. And around, Bugbears are still fighting a little, grumping a little. It seems they always are, really. In the camp, sort of, if you have been looking around just a little bit, you have noticed that there are indeed sort of what seems to be polar bears just walking around in the camp. And if anyone have knowledge, history, or local or something, if you want to apply here, you can certainly try.
I don't.
Nope.
I don't think I can top what Jonas rolled, but
I mean, I have local as well, but history's better for me. So.
It is quite the tough DC here, I can tell you that. So
I mean,
Oh.
if you want, I can try local.
apparently only Zacharias, and he barely remembers something in some old book he once read that apparently these are actually intelligent by themselves. They're known as non-tusks, and just to back that up, I'll make sure we get this right. Yeah. No, not a nuke. It's what they're called, and they're also known as the Awakened. And they are indeed polar bears, but they're an intelligent variant, fully sentient, and with their own hopes and dreams and all that. They are quite rare, and here seem to be a good gathering. In addition to that, you also see quite a few giants and other sort of miscellaneous monsters humanoid, a few gnolls, tons of goblins, a few orcs. Seems like good and well many have been gathered here, and they all bear the sigil of the fire axe. Even the few frost giants here, who are known to be very proud by themselves, bear the fire axe as their insignia. It is quite clear, into your knowledge, that you do not become a war leader of such a host without proving your mettle time upon time. Usually involves in killing the opposing chieftains.
Yeah, Zacharias will point this out to any of the party who is close enough to listen to him. Zacharias himself, though, during the evening he will have, sat back at the tent near the fire, sort of half staring into the fire, half like almost talking to himself, like stroking his chin and looking quite thoughtful. From time to time he will jot something down as one of his notebooks or study his spell book. And he seems to be basically mumbling to himself a lot. And keeping to himself.
How exciting.
You've stopped here now. It's been wet. It's been very cold, but the fires are large, and so look, you see that the bones and the wood here seems to have been gathered in large amounts, and you're not in danger of freezing to death. That's for certain. Even though it's not that pleasant. You know that in the morning you're supposed to go to Fire Axe, to his tent, for a private audience with the warlord.
Okay, well, Zacharias will point out to the rest of the party that the warlord is no doubt intelligent and quite vicious, but is also seemingly an ally, and it might be a good thing to try to curry some favor with him. Who knows? He might be very good to have as an ally in the future.
Anyone would be a good ally at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So I agree.
fine.
You don't sound too happy, Cash.
No, I'm not fond of bugbears.
Oh?
They're so stupid. And savage and annoying.
That is certainly true. But I think Fire Axe might be a exception to that rule, at least in the dumb part.
For 130 years, I have not known anything about that. I have not learned anything good from a bugbear. And I think 130 years is a pretty long time.
Zacharias looks questioningly at Cash. So, have you lived with bugbears for 130 years?
More or less. I don't know how old I was when my parents left me with the bugbears. They don't even know my real name. I don't even know my real name because the bugbear is too stupid to understand. They were all scared of me, so naturally I was basically the one ruling all of them.
Well, that's interesting. And I take it you don't know where your parents are?
No, I don't. But it doesn't matter. The bugbears are stupid, they only live for so long, so I've outlived all of them. Everyone. I was just a prize, that's all.
I see. Zacharias looks into the fire again, stroking his chin, seeming quite thoughtful.
Kurtz looked at him. Even if we were to ask them, if I were to gain a favor of them, none of them would remember me because those who did remember me are dead now. So none here would even know who I am. It's like I've never been there.
I see.
Bugbears can only live for so long.
Yes, they live brutish and short lives, no doubt. But that can be turned into a strength. And Zacharias makes a motion to the camp around him. They make excellent shock troops, I should think. And that is what we need.
Yeah, I guess.
Was there a time set for when we were supposed to meet the chieftain?
The morning.
Okay.
Up here north, it's hard to tell a time as the sun doesn't get that close. It sort of races late and goes down early.
Zacharias looks from the fire, and then he looks to Asurius. Looks to the fire again. Asurius,
Yes, Zacharias?
you seem to have a affinity for fire.
An affinity that was started through sadness, though, not through curiosity or divine intervention, quoting with his fingers.
Zacharias has a wry smile. Yes, my encounter with fire was also something of what you might call a divine intervention, I suppose. And I have since thought that fire is unruly and destructive and uncontrollable.
On its own, that is completely true. It would burn a whole world down if it could. Though, in the right hands, Azurus creates a tiny flame in his hand. It becomes a tool like any other.
When Asurius said the remark about the world, something, is if unobservant you would see something sort of glaze over Zacharias' eyes, and they almost looks like they turn to stone for a second. And anyone with a decent sense motive would guess that yes, maybe fire did indeed burn down his world in a way.
Is something the matter, Zacharias?
Zacharias blinks and stirs. No, it's memories.
Extinguishing the flame. Memories, good or bad, you can't let them get in the way.
He nods. Yes, as you said, fire is a tool. I have begun to understand this. It must be. If it does not like to be controlled, you must arrest control.
Like with anything else.
Indeed. And I shall.
We've all got things in our lives which we lack the control over. Things that we're more wary of, but we still need to be able to find a way to retake control. A sad tone enters Azura's voice in that last sentence.
Control is everything.
Control may be everything. Though control is often led to power, and power can be someone's downfall.
Zacharias shoots a glance from the corner of his eye. Perhaps. One must be smart, one must be planning if one is to seize power.
It's the same for someone trying to hold power and keep it.
Indeed.
To hold power for a brief moment is fine, until those try to wrestle it away from you. Normally have a dagger at your throat.
Yes.
Azurus is just staring into the fire.
Zacharias does the same.
Very melodramatic tent.
Very, very grim tent.
Let's see how the other tent's doing.
They're making mushrooms.
So then I grabbed her ass, and that would be the kind of stories I imagine Karen will actually tell.
And then I burnt them all.
Yeah, that sounds like a story that Kyron would tell.
To all stories.
Right now, there's not much conversation going on. Kyron is just lying on his back, looking at the ceiling of the tent, and trying very hard not to look too bored, but failing. So what time is it now, anyways?
You have a really hard time telling. It's sort of dark. You would guess the sun is probably up. It's sort of rainy and stormy still, so it's hard to tell. I mean, it seems like you're awake. You would guess that it's probably morning. Yeah.
And Marcus is making bacon.
Apparently.
Roasting it over the open fire.
Now let's go with that.
So taking anything Jake says as in character makes his character very hilarious.
Just give me a moment. I have to make some bacon.
It's a redeeming feature of his character.
A
It is.
paladin has to have priorities.
Like bacon.
I mean, that's the universal thing, right? All gods agree.
On bacon.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, but anyway.
Anyway, it seems to be morning, although it is sort of wet and cold and unpleasant. At least it is not so freezing that it would be ice and snow that is hailing down everywhere. Although sort of outside the range of the large pyres, you still see the snow laying on the ground.
Well, Zacharias will take a deep breath and get up from his sitting position and say, whether life is indeed frail and fleeting, we have some duties while we still cling to it. So let us engage this fire axe in some small talk, see what we can learn of him and his plans. We are still to facilitate his invasion after all.
Zurius rolls over, gets up.
Well, Cash just sits up and nods, not really wanting to stay here.
So
Zacharias,
Zurius,
go ahead.
Zurius, noticing how dreadful the weather is outside and the constant downpour, you just see him reaching into his bag and pulling out his large cloak and completely covering his body except his face with it.
Zacharias himself makes a few small gestures, and the rest of the group near him notice that all their clothes are now sort of pristine condition. Basically, they're not dirty anymore. They're dry. And when he steps out in the rain, it seems like the rain doesn't really hit him. It's like it basically just falls on a small aura around him, makes him covered.
You can see a smile from Azurius about this. He clearly did not want to go out in the rain.
So seeing movement in the tent opposite to his, Chiron will head over, and he doesn't really seem to care about the rain, despite getting drenched quite quickly. So, are we heading out?
Yes, it seems like that. We can't keep our vicious host waiting.
Well, it looks like it's morning, but it's really hard to tell. It might be noon by now.
Best make haste then, I suppose.
So where is his tent anyways?
Just look for the most fanciest tent.
Probably the largest as well.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, in the middle of the encampment, no doubt.
If you're going to roll a tribe, give yourself all the lavishes you could find.
Yes, the trappings of power to keep the illusion up.
This Fire Axe guy doesn't seem like he needs illusions to rule.
He seems vicious enough.
You take every bonus you can get, however.
I suppose.
If you had a large sack of money, and then someone said to you, "Oh, you have so much money, you didn't want this extra free money," what would you do?
Well, if I had enough money, I wouldn't need any more money, would I?
If someone was just handing you extra money, though she didn't need to work for an extra week.
Well, I guess I would take it. I don't exactly see your point. Chiron shrugs and heads into the direction that seems most likely to lead to Fire Axe's tent.
Alright.
Cash follows.
There's lots and lots of more bugbears you pass on your way. And they all seem to steer clear of sort of the middle area of the camp where the large sort of feasting, not really as much a tent as a house made of wood and fur is located. Next to it, or rather sort of in front of it, there's another large tent with the fire axe emblazoned upon it. This is most likely where fire axe is. Sort of look into the tent, you see a throne. A sort of savage-looking throne, made of what appears to be a big skull of some sort of creature. Hard to tell now. And upon it sits, indeed, Sekarat, with his flaming, smouldering axe placed next to him. There appear to be no guards here, but the camp outside is completely full of all kinds of monsters. So it is unlikely that we would beat them. As you sort of enter, he looks up from some papers he seems to be reading, and gives you a wide grin. Beckons you closer as he steps down from his throne to meet you on equal footing.
Greetings, Sir Fireaxe, or however I shall call you. I'm not entirely sure.
Call me what you like. I don't care much for titles.
I can
Greetings.
appreciate that.
Actions is what matters.
Greetings, Bugbear.
Looks at you sort of with a curious look. I was taking all of you in, weighing you in his eyes. I'm curious about you, he says. You are different from what I imagined.
What did you imagine?
Looks around. Something more like us. You are traitors to your own kind. You must know that. When Belatian falls, and my horde pours through the shattered gates, we will slaughter the Telranians by the thousands. Yet I see no regret in your eyes. Tell me then, how can this be?
I do not see the problem.
'Cause they are not my kind.
He gives a smile.
To me, they have betrayed me and everything I've ever owned. I see no reason not to betray them in return.
Marcus removes his armor disguise and pulls up his sleeve to show the Forsaken brand.
Looks at Marcus. He then moves his hands to his breastplate and lets it just fall to the ground. And you see that in his chest there is burned in a large scar of the Asmodean star. The pentagram burned into the flesh of his chest. We all have our scars. He says. Just looks at you. So, prisoners.
Indeed, they branded us as traitors. The least we can do is fulfill their expectations.
I see. And you were sent here by... So that's the words the nest.
Addressed as Thorn, as we told you.
Yes. What do you know of Thorn? How do you like him?
So guys quirked his eyebrow. That is a difficult question to answer. Perhaps you could tell us what you know of him too. You seem to know him. Sakurai sort of motions towards the scar on his chest. And I don't think you got that by accident.
Sort of looks down and says, no, it is a price, if you will. As he grins. I have spoken to him over a few occasions, but I'm curious of what you know. He's a very secretive man.
Yes. Yes. He claims to be a cardinal. A claim I cannot really dispute, I suppose.
Not sure. Yes, he is a cardinal, that's for sure.